What's going on, everybody? All right, so today we have another stream. Here we are as we wait for these notifications and everything to start sending to everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. I'm your host, CS the Director. Make sure to hit that subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. So, as always, here we have a guest, and let's get into it. So, you want to talk about it? Go for it.
All right. Sorry. Sorry. Let me get everything right.
Let's go.
All right. So yeah, what's up, bro?
Nothing much, just here. Here we are. What's going on, Slipknot? Appreciate you watching. I know all these notifications are gonna start going out. So yeah, so what do you think about this whole thing with James Gunn and DC and this out of nowhere Bane? I don't know if it's versus Deathstroke, Bane crossover with Deathstroke. Who knows what
Well,
the hell's
for
going on?
one, like who even asked for that, and two, it's like, why are you announcing that? Like, I don't understand. It's like it just seems like this is all fucking rushing to the max.
Yeah,
It's like, and I thought people were bitching and complaining about Zack Snyder and the DCU was being rushed, but it's like, what the fuck is people are just being so hypocritical. I'm just like, especially these like blind gun cultist fans are just like accepting this
yep,
out of
that's
nowhere when they
exactly.
bitched all about like shit being rushed with the
Yeah,
DCU.
yep,
And it's
that's
just like, how are they even announcing this when they don't even have who the actors are?
thank you, thank
And
you,
I
and
thought
not only
James Gunn
that.
said, "Oh, we're not going to make any announcements on projects unless we know for like it's actually getting made and who's like attached, being who the actors are, who's directing it."
Yeah. And you know what's crazy about this? Now that you're saying and pointing that out, let me just bring two things up real quick. First things first, and we're going to get into it because we really have to talk about what I'm going to say real quick. How about we check this out, right? We're getting, quote unquote, Bane and Deathstroke. Where's Batman? How come we haven't gotten no announcement of Batman? But bringing that to what this topic is about, I wouldn't be surprised if we're getting a preview of James Gunn's Batman with that cosplay type that just received, the star on the thing in California, or whatever it is on the floor. Man, it's nuts. It's like, how do you skip Batman, your biggest IP character, and just jump straight to the villains without anything? We don't even know who's gonna be, like you're saying, who's gonna be casted for the roles. It's nuts.
Wait, I'm sorry. What'd you say about this star?
Oh, that we have Batman, right? That's a
Mhm.
cosplayer from what we see in the pictures, but we don't have no official update with who the new Batman is going to be.
Well, are you talking
James
about
Gunn.
that Batman star of Hollywood fame they just
Yeah,
posted? Oh yeah, I've been seeing rumblings about them.
it's wild. It's like, how do you go to the villains without introducing Batman?
Exactly. And I'm sorry, but it's like I thought. Are we? I was like making a comment on Twitter to James Gunn, so I'm like, are we gonna get that Ben Affleck versus Deathstroke movie that we were promised? You know, and it's
Man,
just like, what the fuck?
it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's no surprise though, honestly. Like James Gunn, he's just nervous right now. He's just trying to cram everything and just trying to prove everything and say, hey, I'm sure he's probably paying Variety and Heroic Hollywood and all these companies to be like, you want to put news updates here. Just we're working on this, but in the end, of course, we know David Zaslav is the one to approve and say, hey, it's going to be made, because of course he has to sign the check for whatever the budget production is going to cost and stuff like that. But I highly see any of this coming, and I doubt is going to really come about, because WB is in so much debt, and why would they keep on investing on something that they don't even know if it's going to work? They don't even know if Superman's going to make the money that they're expecting.
exactly. I just don't get it.
Like, I'm just not surprised, honestly. It's just everything is just dropping way too fast, and it shows you the desperation of James Gunn and his poor leadership, along with Peter Safran. On
Yep.
this one, I don't even hold David Zaslav accountable. You know why? Because David Zaslav is the one who has the final say. If it moves forward and it does happen, then honestly, David Zaslav is the problem with everything, because he's authorizing all these checks to be allowed to make these films, and it's going to cost them a lot of money, even if it's like 50 million. Let's just say it's a HBO Max type of project. 50 million is still 50 million. You get what I'm saying? It's like, that's a lot.
Yeah, and not to mention, it's like, how are they announcing this Deathstroke and Bane project when we not only have they not announced the Batman yet, they haven't even announced who Wonder Woman is.
Exactly.
It's just like, I thought they were trying to get all the main like DC characters out of the way first, but it's like, why are they focusing on doing all this like side character nonsense? That
And that
nobody
shows
really
you.
asked for.
Remember that there was a rumor recently that James Gunn wanted to do something with Deathstroke, but then we had that interview with Joe. It was recently, I don't remember, but it was like earlier this year, and they asked him about Deathstroke, and he kind of like swept it under the rug, saying, "Hey, look, it's currently not happening." And I don't know if you saw the recent interview he just had with Zach. I think it was for Twilight of the Gods, and they asked Joe about Deathstroke, and he was like, "Look," because they were talking about like some nerd stuff and collectibles, and he was like, "Look, I have the helmet of Deathstroke from Justice League, so like it's like he's telling you, I'm not letting it go, but at the same time, we know what you want." And he kind of like they kind of like moved to the next question real quick, but this is where I'm speculating, so I'm gonna I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat just because, for the hell of it, why not? But I think Joe is holding on to it, and he didn't say much about it. The same with Zach, because I think there is something happening behind closed doors, and probably this announcement is just to shake the waters and see, hey, let's see how fans are going to react, just to test the waters.
Yeah, at least I hope that's how it is.
I hope.
But it's just like you said you're getting the writers for Captain America 4 for this too, and it's just like,
Yep.
once again bringing people from Marvel to do DC, and it's just like, you just know it's going to be a comedy. It's not going to be dark and serious. Knowing James Gunn, he's probably going to have both Deathstroke and Bane act like bunch of fucking like act like Peacemaker and be
Exactly.
a part of the
Mm.
Suicide Squad, and it's just going to be a comedy, and he's probably going to have Deathstroke act like Deadpool or some shit.
For sure. For sure. That's what he's trying to do. Just trying to gain that audience for the attention and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's check out these comments real quick before they start getting more and more like flooded and stuff. Slipknot, what's up? Hey Sean, what's up? Sounds like DC are trying to copy Deadpool and Wolverine with Bane and Deathstroke. Yep, exactly. That's what we just said. So for sure, that's
Yeah,
what they're
that's what
trying
it
to
is.
do. Yeah. Do you have a favorite Marvel movie, or is Marvel not your cup of tea? Yes, I do have good Marvel movies from where everything ended at Endgame. That's when I liked and I really enjoyed Marvel. After Endgame, they're done. Like, that whole MCU is completely done. Like, I'm not interested. But one of my favorite movies, I gotta say, from the MCU, this is just guilty pleasure, but Iron Man 2. I really enjoy Iron Man 2 because they finally brought in War Machine. War Machine is my favorite character, so that's why I really enjoyed what they did with Iron Man 2. That's from all of them. That was like, for me, it's
It's
like,
just
oh
too bad it
wow.
wasn't the guy from the first movie though.
Yeah, man. Like, every time they do that, when they recast somebody, it sucks, but I understand why. That's the same thing that DC needs to do. And look, check this out. Now that you bring that up, is interesting before I forget. And I'm getting chills with what I'm about to say and tell you guys. Check this out. All of a sudden now in this, have you seen Penguin?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know that the actor that played I can't remember the crime boss, the dude with the mustache with the glasses.
You
What
mean
was the name?
Carmine Falcone?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah. Okay, so that actor wasn't able to come and reprise his role because who knows what. So they recasted somebody that looks similar to him. Now, I spoke about this a while ago. If you look at my videos, let's rewind the time and let's go back when James Gunn started doing Peacemaker and they brought in, you know, the Justice League. How come during that time we got extras to play Henry Cavill, we got extras to play Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and the most important one, we had an extra that looked just like Ben Affleck for Peacemaker. But then last minute, of course, James Gunn didn't want that, so he took it away. So how are you going to be able to what I'm trying to say is it's okay for James Gunn to recast because of course James Gunn is the one that's empowered. Let's not forget that. He's the one that's moving things and allowing things to happen. So it's okay for Matt Reeves to recast somebody, but it's not okay for James Gunn to recast someone that looks like Ben Affleck because Ben Affleck can't reprise his role, make it make sense.
Hmm.
Anything you want to add?
Well, I guess I don't know. It's me because the difference is Batman's like a big popular character, whereas like Carmine Falcone is like not really, obviously not well known in the Batman lore unless you read the comics and shit. But so
Right.
it's like they're able to get away with that, I guess, recasting, but just not with like the main character.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but they did it with Keaton and Batman Forever. What was his name? I can't remember. I always forget his name, man. The underrated Batman.
Oh yeah,
Man, I can't remember his name right now.
yeah, Val Kilmer, and then
Val
George
Kilmer.
Clooney after that.
Thank you. Exactly. So if they could do it with them. Why can't they do it with Ben Affleck? And I get it. I get it. Okay. If if a big if they were to continue the Snyderverse, but under the Hamadaverse, what they were trying to do, which we already saw that it was a mess with the Flush. I mean, I look, I rewatched Justice League, but I appreciate that they were still trying to move forward with Ben and to keep the continuity. Of course, they're gonna bump heads behind closed doors, like we saw and we read and we've heard from these actors and actresses say. But it's like, what's so hard? Just keep the continuity going. If Marvel can do it, why can't DC? But then they pick and choose what they want to do. And it's like you're saying, they want to bring in writers and more people from Marvel. Why? Like, there's so much talent out there that they don't need to rely on that. It just, to me, it just completely just mind boggles me.
Exactly. I don't know. Maybe it's because they want to try to get like writers and talent that are just like people who don't really have talent. They just want it for a job, so they'll just do anything. Whereas like if they try to get talent, they will try to like want to do it their own way. And they
Yeah.
don't want to like listen to the studio. But then I guess the studio doesn't want to put up with that, especially
Yeah.
knowing James Gunn is a control freak. So he just wants to hire people that'll just be obedient to him.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
just is
It's wild.
exactly why I think that's why Ben Affleck, like remember how he said like, yeah, we'll never work for James Gunn.
Yeah.
It's because it's
And,
like, especially after when James Gunn said, oh yeah, we're talking to Ben Affleck and seeing if we can find the right project for him.
right.
But obviously if that were, it was either one or the other, where it's like they did talk and then Ben's like, he didn't like what the direction James wanted to do and he said no, fuck it. Or
Yeah.
James Gunn just completely lied about it.
He's just lying. That's what he is. He's
Yeah.
just trying to get attention. If his ego is all over everything and everywhere at
Mhm.
DC, at this point, he's just nothing but a Pinocchio. He's just a liar for everything. And everything that James Gunn says to me
Mhm.
personally, I'm just speaking for me. He's just a Pinocchio. I don't take him serious. He's just everything is a lie with him.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I don't know. It's just, yeah, I think that's also, I think there were, did like at the time, I do think Cavill and Gunn did have discussions about like maybe continuing with Henry Cavill as Superman in
Yeah.
James Gunn's DCU. But I think, Cavill was like, probably saw like the writing on the wall. He's like, I don't want to be a part of this. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck
Yeah.
this. Just
Yeah.
because, yeah, because, he doesn't want to have Superman be a jokester and say like,
Probably.
oh, I got a poop fetish.
Yeah, and we already saw it in
Stupid
the
shit.
Flash. It's like we saw how James Gunn treated, you know, Batman, Ben Affleck's version. It's like, come on, man, like that's an
Exactly.
insult. So I think they did the right thing by stepping away and saying, you know what, this is not for us. And it's just everything's happening for a reason, and from that we're gonna get into something real good right now. We're gonna talk about, but let's keep on taking some comments while people are here. Ace, what up, Ace? All right, and then we got Slipknot. He's like, "What's your thoughts on David Ayer posting the WB logo and Marvel have their hands all over DC right now?" All right. So, what are your thoughts on that with James? I mean, not James Gunn. David Ayer posting the WB logo?
I mean, I don't know. I don't put too much stock into it. Really, it's just like I do want to get to see the Ayer cut get released, but it's just like at this point, it's just like I'll I guess I'll believe it until it gets actually announced and whatnot.
Yeah,
Just
I
because
get
I
that.
just find it hard to believe. I do think like maybe there is some validity to where Warner Brothers does want to do it, but with James Gunn and Peter Safran involved, they're not going to allow. They're gonna do everything they can to make sure it doesn't get released.
Yeah,
So it's
I
just
get you.
that's just like a major obstacle right there.
Yeah, I see that point of view also. Like I can respect and I understand everybody that feels like that.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the coin, I think something is coming from that. Why? Because why would David Ayer post that when he was recently feeling down and feeling like, hey, I'm just tired of this? Because of course James Gunn lied in your face. He told you he was going to release the cut. He hasn't done squat. So why all of a sudden are we going to believe him and say, hey, like, yeah, he's really going to do that? No, I don't believe that. And then all of a sudden, and then this takes us into the next topic while staying on topic. All of a sudden, we keep hearing these leaks that Comcast wants to do alternative DC content on HBO Max. And they want, in these meetings, they've been bringing up David Ayer and Zack Snyder. And is it a coincidence now that we have Zack back doing the prequel, that series for 300? No. Is it a coincidence that David Ayer is posting a picture of him at WB, literally under the water tower? And then he posts a few days later the WB official logo. Like, I'm back without saying it. I think this is just me. Like I said, I'm speculating. Maybe I'm feeding too much into it, but I want to stay positive. This is how we win, because if we do that, we did the same thing for the Snyder Cut. If we would have been like, oh, yeah, it's just a rumor, the Snyder Cut, it's not going to happen. That's what a lot of people did, and they gave up. But majority of us, we kept going. We didn't give up while everybody was making fun of us. Even blue check mark accounts on Twitter, everybody was like making fun of us. Oh, it doesn't exist. It's never gonna happen. But we have it now. So if we didn't stop back then, why are we gonna stop now? And we see solid evidence right before us. Zack is saying it. Zack is announcing it. He's not gonna say it because obviously, if you made an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, you can't talk about these things because there's a certain time, all that contract and stuff like that, legal purposes. Same thing with David Ayer. And then now, just put in a picture. I mean, we, like they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Boom. That to me speaking loud. I mean, that I don't need no more evidence. That's solid right there. Something is happening. You get what I'm saying? And then you have Comcast with these leaks and that they want to, do alternative. That's a keyword. Alternative DC shows on Max. That says a lot. You get what I'm saying? Like, this isn't coincidence. But then now we have James Gunn coming out of the blue, literally yesterday, and he's announcing. Well, it's not even him, but through outsources like Variety, Heroic Hollywood, official accounts saying that and everybody's right now talking about it. All these official accounts. So, like, it's not coincidence. Why would he do that? Because we know as fans that we want Batman versus Deathstroke in the DCEU. Now, if James Gunn goes and does it, then clearly he's just trying to do all this for clout. He's trying to get attention. So he's trying to use the name for fame and be like, oh, well, the Snyderverse didn't do anything with it. You know what? I'm going to beat him to it. That's fine. Go for it. Do it. But once not HBO, once Comcast comes into play and does things with Zack and with David Ayer, it's gonna do the same thing like what we got with the Justice League version. It's gonna get erased. Now we know that the official cut is from Zack Snyder's version. And what do you think, that the same thing won't happen with James Gunn? Of course. Okay, go ahead and make your little, spin-off, whatever you want to call it, with Bane and with Deathstroke. I mean, the fans in the end are gonna support it and not support it. And we already know where we stand at. Look at how many flops everything has been going. So it's like, it's just not coincidence. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Just gotta wait and see.
Yeah. All right. So we
But I
got
was
this.
gonna ask, did you seen the Penguin?
Yeah, I saw it. I wasn't impressed, honestly. Like,
Yeah, it's just like Gotham.
You know what? I would rather take Gotham instead of the Penguin, and that tells you a lot.
Yeah, same.
And you know that
Same.
James Gunn, you could see James Gunn's work in it. And whoever tells me and sits and argues and says, "Oh, but no, I get it. I understand that Matt Reeves is the one doing it." But if I'm, for example, in the position of James Gunn and I have the authority 100%, I'm going to tell the director, "Hey, look, I think this joke should be in your show. Just one joke because it's too serious." "Oh, which one?" "How about we have him in the scene eating a burger and they talk about and joke about pickles?"
Yeah,
That was the
pickles.
most pointless, unnecessary scene. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, it shows you that James Gunn's trying to screw up what Matt Reeves is doing. And I don't want to hear excuses. You didn't need that joke in there. What that show is lacking is just action. It's lacking.
Also, it's better than Peacemaker.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
I'll give it that. But yeah, it's just like the people who are like John Campea say like, oh, it's been successful on HBO on Max, but like
No, it's
what,
not.
5 point something million views.
In
When you
4 days.
compare it to the first episode of Gotham back 10 years ago, that had like eight point something million views. That's not really
Yeah.
impressive, if you ask me.
Yeah. And then you have everybody coming out now,
They keep
of
saying
course.
like, "Oh, it's only U.S. though," but it's like, no, HBO Max is now out of U.S.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. It's
it's
just not in the US.
yeah,
And then now everybody's trying to bash and be like, "Oh, well, the Snyder Cut didn't make those numbers when it released." Okay, but let's keep in mind the fact is, and the reality is, when HBO Max was introduced, what, in 2020 during the pandemic, what happened? Not everybody had access to HBO Max. It was still in the beta stages. In the beginning, it was still trying to unfold and find itself. And all of a sudden, what happens? HBO Max, the servers crash because it was too much traffic. It was just high demand. You can't keep up with it because it's too much. And that's what happens when something is in
yeah.
high demand. I spoke about that recently. Think about it. Have you ever tried pre-ordering something like at a con exclusive like San Diego Comic Con or Mattel or Hasbro? They put you on a waiting list because it's too many people online, so they can't keep up the orders. Or if on Amazon you pre-order something, give it a few weeks. They'll cancel your order all of a sudden because they couldn't keep and meet the demands like they tell you in the email. So it's like if that happens with them, what makes you think that HBO Max wasn't going to crash when Zack Snyder's Justice League was out there? Because you had everybody. You had the fans that wanted it, that fought for it, and then you had the trolls. You had all these trolls that were like, "Oh, well, the Snyder Cut is never going to happen," and they're like, but they're deep down inside curious to see. "Oh, I want to see what the Snyder Cut is about." Campio was one of them. He was like, "Oh, it was good and he enjoyed it," but how many times wasn't he bashing on it? How many other YouTubers weren't bashing on it? And then they go and like, "Oh yeah, it was good. Thank you. It was real, right?"
Yeah,
Exactly. So it tells you it's the same thing happening again.
yeah, exactly. Um, Shit, I was gonna ask you. Oh yeah, about the pre-orders. Did you hear about the PS5 Pro
Oh, that's
pre-order?
nuts, man. That's insane.
Which is
That
actually surprising because a lot of people were shitting on it, but
you know
it's
what it
actually
is?
getting sold out like crazy.
It's so exactly. You know what it is? I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just that's like Apple with the iPhone. Oh, the new phone just came out. Oh, jump on it while you still can. And then guess what happens? The same thing happened during the pandemic in 2020 when the PS5 came out. Nobody could get it, and scalpers were reselling at $2,000 or $3,000. And the same thing is happening right now. Sony knows what they're doing. This is all a marketing strategy. Give it in 6 months. Of course, the holiday season is coming up. We're what 2, 3 days away from October, and we're literally in the holiday season.
Why?
So of course,
I know there's the PS5 Pro regular and there's the anniversary one.
yeah,
Correct? What's the difference between the two? Do you know? Is it
same
just the
thing
skin?
is the skin. The skin, that's it. That's the
Okay.
only difference. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's an official product that was printed by Sony to, like I guess you want to honor the OG PlayStation, which is like to me is like you can just buy a skin and get it custom. Buy it off of Amazon.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
The thing is, though, it's like I already have the regular PS5, so it's like there's no point in getting it.
Yeah,
Really,
you can just the skin. That's all it is. It's literally just a skin.
the graphics are only like slightly better. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
As technology gets better, obviously. And watch when you get the Pro. They're gonna announce the PS6. Oh, the PS6 is out. What? I just got the Pro. So
Yeah,
it's all a
exactly.
marketing. It's all. How long have we been around with PS4? 4 years, going to 5 years. It's coming to that time where the six is about to get announced soon. Because let's be
Yeah,
real, it's like every 7 years they want to do it now, and eventually, as we get into the future, and especially with what Sony's doing, check that out. Look at what they've been doing, and I call this for a while. Sony is testing the waters right now with the PlayStation, with the 5. How? They brought two versions. Remember, during the pandemic, we got the one with the hard drive with the disc and the one that's digital. Everybody
yeah,
wanted the one with the disc because everybody was like, "Oh, you could play the PS4 games and you could play the PS2 and PS1." No, you can't. It don't read physical disc of those games. It only plays 4 and 5. So everybody was excited. Oh, I want the 5. And then what happened? People were paying 3,000, 2,000 because they couldn't find it. And now you go to Walmart, go to Target, they're overstocked because now the Pro is the big thing. So it's like, come on, man. It's just a marketing strategy. That's how these corporations work.
yeah, exactly. It's yeah. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you about Transformers One. Have you seen it?
Yeah. And Chrono, the
I
manga.
haven't seen it
Yeah.
yet, but I'm just gonna wait until it comes to streaming.
Yeah, you know
Just some,
what? That's the best thing you could do, honestly.
yeah.
Look, a lot of people are like, "Damn, you're hating on it, and you don't give it a chance." Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a Transformers fan, to saying like I'm a DC, a Marvel, whatever fan you want to be. All right, but that doesn't mean you're gonna support and like everything. There's some Transformer cartoons and animated shows that I don't like because they're just not for me. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not gonna watch it. That doesn't make me, a real fan. It's just that's just not for me.
Yeah,
I
it's just
knew, yeah.
doing these prequel movies is just to me is kind of like it kind of regressed the franchise, and that's why people just don't have interest to see it. You know?
And they've been burned too much. Again, it's
Yeah.
like when you keep doing the same thing over and over, people get tired of it. And that's understandable. This is why these companies have to do different things. But okay, Transformers 1, I gave it a 5 out of 10. It wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst. Is it a fun movie to watch? Yes. Do you want to watch it alone? No. Unless you're like a real passionate hardcore fan that you're like, I don't care. Okay, go. You're gonna enjoy it. But is it like what we've seen? No, because you don't have humans in it. I'm not gonna spoil it for everybody, but it's finally like, okay, you guys finally got what you've been asking for. A Transformers movie without humans. And what happens? It's still tanked. That movie's tanking right now. It's not making the money that Hasbro and Paramount thought they were going to make. I knew
Yes,
this was
because
going to be a
nobody wanted an
disaster.
animated form though. They wanted like
Thank you.
the
Live
opening of
action.
Bumblebee. I
Thank you.
guess.
Exactly. All that money that they spent, think about this. Let's do the math. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't like, and I still don't like Chris Hemsworth, that's also known as Thor, playing
Yeah, I'm getting
Optimus
tired
Prime.
of him. He's
I, I
just
I just can't. I couldn't take him serious, man. I was like, you can tell that that's Thor. I was like, now Scarlett Johansson doing the voice of Alita, that was dope. I liked it. She nailed it.
but again, it's
Um,
bringing MCU actors into another
thank
franchise.
you, thank
It
you,
just gets
thank
so
you.
overblown.
That's what it is, and that's what the problem with these companies are. They think, well, they made the Avengers, they made $1 billion. They're gonna do the same thing for us. No, it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. They could have got somebody from probably previous Transformer shows that sounds like Peter. Make him sound like a young Peter if that's supposed to be Optimus. You don't have to make him sound, and you could hear it when you watch it. He tries so hard when he becomes Optimus to sound like Peter, and I was like, this dude is trying so hard. I was like, you don't need to do that. Like, I'm not buying it as a fan. And it's crazy. I was like, when I saw the announcement last year when they had said it, oh, we're working on the movie. I'm like, all right, does it continue? Does it pick up? Does it connect? No, it's a reboot. I was like, that's gonna be a disaster. And look, it's a disaster. That's when people are like, oh, you're so negative. It's not that I'm negative. I'm just calling it how I'm seeing what's going to happen. You can tell what's gonna happen. And the movie was fun. It's enjoyable. It's one of those like I'm bored. It's on. Okay, if you have Paramount Plus, just watch it on Paramount Plus. This should have been on streaming. The same like with DC should have done with Blue Beetle. They could have saved a lot of money by putting Blue Beetle straight to streaming how they originally have.
Yeah,
And You know, it's like they're just greedy.
Sorry, hello.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, they think sorry. Um, they think going back theatrical is going to make the money because all the pandemic's over and shit.
Yep. And
That's
that's
like,
the thing. Like the look, let's be real. The pandemic just made all of us lazier, more comfortable, more easy for everything. It's so comfortable that we don't go out and buy fast food anymore. We rely on Uber. That's what we do. We don't go out like before. And that's the bad thing about what happened with the pandemic because we're, on lockdown everywhere for so long. So people got used to it. Oh, I'll just watch it on streaming. And to be honest, I've been seeing this for a while. The future is going to be streaming. We're seeing it that it's happening. People will watch Blue Beetle on streaming more than what they went to go to the theaters. People saw The Flash in streaming instead of going to the theaters. People saw all these movies on streaming, Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO, the list continues. How come they're not showing the same support over on the theaters? Because we've gotten lazy. Let's just say how it is, and it's okay. The future is just what's convenient for us. We don't want cars that are gas powered. Now we rely on Tesla cars, electric cars that drive themselves. You see what I'm saying? So if you see where it's heading, everything is just becoming more digital, easier, and online. This is why you see that Best Buy got rid of physical media, Walmart's getting rid of physical media, Target has gotten most of it. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, like I see what they're trying to do, but at the same time, in the long run, it's gonna affect everything because here you are making your audience more comfortable. Hey, you can't go out in person. That's fine. Watch it at home. I'm gonna watch it at home, honestly. I have a big TV, I have surround sound, I have all. It's the same thing like going to the theaters. And whenever you want, you pause it, you go do what you got to do, come back, pick up where you left off. It's more easier. I find it more of a burden going to the theaters, driving, being stuck in traffic. You have to make a line. You have kids behind you kicking the seat. It smells like corn in here. You're stepping all over the sticky floor. It's a hassle. You have a baby that won't stop crying somewhere in the back. You have somebody shouting. It's just annoying. You have people walking in front of you. Hey, move. You got somebody with their big head right in front of you. You can't see. It,
yeah,
it's
but
just annoying.
you know what I noticed is theaters are now doing this 40x thing where they're trying to make movies be like a ride where the seats shake and you get water splashed on you.
I did one the other day. I didn't like it, honestly. It
40x.
was like, yeah, I did it, but like that has to be for like a Fast and the Furious type of movie. All right, look, you know how
Yeah.
it is. Did you ever ride at Universal the ride Twister back in the days or the Earthquake?
No.
Okay, it's literally a seat, like if you're at Universal Studios, and the chair just rocks back and forth, like every movement. When you have a movie, when all they're doing is talking, that chair is not going to move. You're gonna be
Yeah.
there like, oh my god, like why is this not? There's no action. You need that for action type of movies only. You need that for like Jurassic World. You need that for the Fast and the Furious type of movies. You need that for movies that are like Marvel and like exciting movies that are like boom, 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 like Terminator, like
Yeah.
Avatar, like movies like that. Perfect.
Yeah. I
But
went
a
to go
normal
see
movie,
Alien in 40x, and it's like I basically almost fell off my seat because it's like that much rumbling,
oh
and I'm just
man.
like, how the fuck are you gonna be able to eat and like eat your popcorn? It's just gonna
And the
fucking
thing
fall off,
and the thing is with the seats, it's crazy because now that
and the
you said
drinks are
that,
gonna come out too.
yeah, your drinks go everywhere. And then
Yeah.
there's a part where the alien pops out and the back of the seat, it literally punches you in the back of your back and the low back. And I was like, did I just get
Yeah.
punched? And it has this like little metal thing. It doesn't hurt, but it's like,
Yeah.
did I just
And can
get
you
punched?
imagine too, like eating popcorn or your food that, and you get water splashed on it in front of
It,
you?
it
It's just like that's
it's not.
nasty, you know. Like
It was
fuck.
wild. It was a fun experience, but I was like, you just need something with more explosions. Like that would be perfect for a Michael Bay type of movie. Boom,
Exactly.
explosions,
Michael Bay
like
Transformers.
everywhere. Yes, there you go. You see,
Yeah.
it would have just been perfect for that, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's like sometimes I'm like, why does Hollywood do certain things and they don't just listen to the fans? Listen to your fans. That's why Deadpool did so good and it's still doing good because Ryan Reynolds listened to the fans. He was like, they want this, we're gonna give them to that. They want this character, they want this actor, blah blah blah. The list goes on. And they did that. So they're catering to the audience and to the fans. So that's why they made that money, because that's called customer service. You can't please
Yeah.
everybody, but for the most part, I mean, it was one of those movies that's like, okay, I see what they did, but
But
it's
it's
like,
also kind of a gimmick because I feel like
yeah,
after Deadpool 2 kind of like sucked, they're like, okay, we can't try to do the same thing again as like the first two, so we gotta like change it up.
yeah, yeah,
So let's
yeah.
make it like a multiverse team up movie and shit.
But even with the multiverse thing, I like what Deadpool did with the whole multiverse thing because they brought in variants. And if you notice, that's the thing that's in style right now, Marvel. Before it was the multiverse, and it all ended with Spider-Man No Way Home. But then all of a sudden now, the next thing that's part of the big phase, everything is a variant. It started with Loki, a Loki variant of this one, that one, that one. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, everything's a variant now. So this whole phase now of, I think what we're at right now, 5 and 6 or 6 and 7, I don't even know. That's all what it's going to bring in, just multiverse and variants. And I'm like, this is getting a little bit played out, like
Yeah, but I
it's
feel like
just
you
too
can only
much.
do that for so long to the point where it's just like, this is getting tiring,
Yeah, big time,
and confusing.
Yeah. All right, so let's check
The
out some
thing is though,
more.
it's like I after watching Deadpool Wolverine a second time, I'm like, this movie didn't even have to be a multiverse because it's like you could have still brought in the original Wolverine in the
Yeah,
movie that takes place before Logan, because
yeah,
like Logan's supposed to take place in like the future, like
something like that.
2029, 2020, 2030, you know?
Yeah,
And since like Deadpool takes place in present day, it's like you could have just still kept the original Wolverine. I don't know why they felt the need to do a variant.
yeah. That's why everything is now a variant. I'm kind of like tired of it. I'm like, it hasn't even fully started. I'm like, everything's a variant now. It's like, oh, that's not the right Wolverine. Oh, let's go back. Come on.
Yeah.
Just bring them all in. That's why when that whole scene with you had like towards the end where you had like what it was like 1,000 Deadpools. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
honest with you. That was to me was just that's too much. I was like,
Yeah, it
Maury,
was
the scene is dragging too long. It took
too
too
long.
long.
Yeah.
It was just too much, and not every Deadpool did anything. You had like they just you could tell they were just trying to bring in like the comics
The
into that
Deadpool core.
universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, it's just too much, a little bit too much. They went a little overboard with it. And then Lady Deadpool, you finally bring her, and what she's on there for like a cameo for like a minute or so. I'm like, dude, like use it to the max. Like I don't get it. Like
Yeah. Exactly.
it makes no sense. All right,
And
so
so I'm
let's check
trying to
out.
I'm trying to rewatch The Penguin right now, and like, what's his name? Clancy Brown is in it as
Mm,
as Maroni.
oh, okay,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
I didn't even notice that until just now at the second time watching it, and I'm like, he doesn't even look anything like Italian.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, see,
Maroni.
that's
So
what I
I'm
was
just like,
saying. Like,
it's like
yeah,
weird. Why did they bring him to cast him as that role?
probably cheaper. It was probably
Because
cheaper. That's
especially
what it
when the
was.
guy in Gotham did it so much better. I feel like
Yeah,
he actually had an Italian accent.
yeah.
Clancy Brown just sounds like Lex Luthor. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh man, that's crazy. All right, so let's
Yeah.
keep on reading these comments. Hope never dies. Exactly. Hope never dies. All right, restore Snyderverse. Yes, you already know it. We will keep going and we will stop at nothing. Hugh Jazz. Yo, yo. All right, we got another comment. James Gunn does too much comedy stuff. Yep. That's all he does, comedy. He should just stick to comedy, honestly. They never released the real numbers for the Snyder Cut. Also, they had the most new subscribers in HBO history for the Snyder Cut. Yep. To this day, we don't know officially from WB the viewership of during that time. So that tells you a lot. So it happens, but it is what it is. All right, which Transformers cartoon is your favorite? It's a good one.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like I don't even feel the need to watch Transformers One when they've kind of already did that origin story in Transformers Prime.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
yeah.
why the fuck do we need to see this again in movie form?
It's just I don't know.
And
I'm
I'm
like,
like you, I'm getting tired of the G1 stuff.
oh, I'm look as a fan. I'm tired of the G ones. I'm tired of G1. Just
That's
the
another
word
thing. It's like
G1.
That's why I feel like people didn't really go out and see Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast, because it's like all it is just trying to capture this like 80s, 90s nostalgic stuff, that
Yeah,
most people nowadays now don't even like, were born way after that. So it's just like, I'm like, who are you really trying to cater to? You're trying to cater to a small minority of like fans who grew up with that shit back in the day. Whereas like
yep,
most people now, they didn't even see any of that. The
yep,
original G1, they saw mainly like, for me, it was like the Unicron trilogy and Transformers Prime.
yeah,
All
and that
takes
was
place
it.
in present day.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It's just always trying to capitalize on nostalgia. It's
Yeah,
like
it's just like I feel people are just tired of that shit.
yeah, it's just too much. It's like every fandom. You got one side of the fans that are like they're with it. You got the other side that are mixed, and then you got one side that's just completely against it. And the same thing
Yeah.
is happening with Marvel and DC. It's like I can't say that I don't like the new Marvel because then all the new Marvel fans are gonna come at me. I can't say I don't like the new DC because now all the new DC fans are gonna come at me. I
The
say I
only
like the Snyderverse, it
It's
triggers
just
them. I'm like,
the only thing I'm be interested in Marvel right now is like, I want to see how they will do the X-Men in the future.
yeah,
Tackle the X-Men, because it's like, if are they going to do a reboot, or are they going to bring back the original cast for it?
yeah.
That, to me, that's the only interesting part. Well, they'll see what they'll do.
Like, look at this comment right here. Even the Fantastic Four from the new movie are variants, and that's true. We saw it already, like set up in Deadpool and Wolverine. It's all a variant. Everything's gonna be in a variant, and then not only a variant. Don't be surprised what the following is gonna happen. This is just me speculating. Watch them all be scrolls, and just be like, "Oh, it wasn't a real." Because now that's what they're
Yeah,
saying about Captain America. I'm like, why? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
exactly. Oh, I was going to ask you, what do you think of? Do you think Joker 2 is going to make 1 billion?
Nah, nah. Be honest
No.
with you, nah. It's not getting the attention like the first one, and they're trying so hard, but nah, man. Honestly, look, I was excited for the first one. The second one, I barely only seen probably one trailer, if the first trailer of the second one they released, and that's it. Like, I'm just not interested in it, because when you have the director say, "Hey, look, the first movie is supposed to be done. We're not doing anything after it," and then now he backtracks and he goes back and he says, "Oh, we're gonna do a part two." Dude, you're doing it just for the money. Like, come on, clearly you guys are about to tank with this movie. What makes you think that this movie is going to make $1 billion?
It's not, especially when the this movie's got like what, $200 million budget. Like you said.
Yeah, about I think probably
Yeah,
another
it's just like
300.
200 million. Where the first one was like only 70. It's just,
Yeah, so
so if it makes it less than 1 billion, it's just going to be considered as an underperforming movie.
yeah. Oh, but then
Even
you're
if
gonna have people trying to defend it,
even if it makes like 800 or 900 million,
right?
if it
It
falls
has to
anywhere
make
short
over.
under 1 billion, it's just going to be considered as underperformed.
Yeah, and now that you're saying that, let's kind of switch the topic real quick, just because it's funny how people are trying to justify that a flop is okay. It's okay to flop. It's okay in today's world that a flop is considered a win. How? You're losing money. Why would WB want to lose more money on top of the debt that they're already on? And
Exactly.
it's like,
And they
don't.
wonder why
It's
things are going to streaming now.
exactly. It's like just make
This makes no
content for
business sense.
streaming. I think that they should just do specific movies for like the theaters, and some things should just go straight to streaming.
Yeah,
But that's what's happening. Hey, what's going
exactly.
on? The Church of Snyder. What up, CS? What up? We're here just talking and hanging out with everybody. So drop your comments to everybody that wants us to read them. So I'm here reading them as we go along and just talking. We're just random, just talking on stuff for these
Yeah.
movies and all that good stuff.
I
But
probably got to get off soon because I gotta go somewhere.
gotcha.
But
Yeah, no worries.
yeah, but actually, I probably have to get off right now just to
All
get,
right, cool.
yeah, because probably traffic where I'm at. All right.
Gotcha, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. No worries. We'll catch up next time.
Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
stay on, so I'm still gonna talk a few more.
All right.
All right, cool. We'll catch you.
Yeah. Later.
All right, later. So yeah, we continue to talk right here. So you guys can drop your comments and all that stuff. So Chris, what's going on? Appreciate you watching. Everybody that's watching and all that good stuff. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday, good weekend, all that good stuff. So it's pretty wild, with what DC is doing. But like I've been telling y'all for a while, and I know you might be like, well, you always say the same thing. How come we don't see nothing with the Snyderverse? How come we always talking about the same thing? Because I'm here holding the front line for all of us that want more of that. And the same thing when I talk about Transformers. I get it. Some people like certain, you know, visions takes from some directors. That's fine. That's understandable. The same thing with Marvel. I like the old Marvel, and it all ended for me as a fan. Because I'm a Marvel fan also. I don't like everything, but for the most part, I do enjoy what they put out. But to me, it ends as a fan at Endgame. After Endgame, they should have just gone a different route and stopped trying to connect things to Endgame and just focus on where you're heading into the future. Like I see that phase was done. It was wrapped. Everything was good. And I get it. Some people don't like that. And the same thing with the Transformers. Okay, you have Michael Bay do 3 films, the first three, and then you have two extra ones. So now we got five. But what about the last night? Like give it a proper ending, and that's it. But again, Hollywood. They continue to leave things half-assed. And then what upsets me as a fan, and I'm sure a lot of you can agree with the following, is that why do certain movies wait for such a long time to continue a part two or a part three? Look at all these years, right? Perfect example. We have what is it, Dumb and Dumber. You have all these years, and now is when you brought it out. Well, they brought it like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but you wait what over like 15, 20 years. Like people move on, like the story moves on. It's just why wait until now? Just do it when it's hot. It's like trying to bring out now something that's like from the 80s. Like why? Just move forward with the story and stop trying to capitalize on nostalgia doesn't work on everything. It's only a handful of fans that it pretty much works, not everybody. And all I ask is just, if for the Transformers, brand, if you want to say, when it comes to the cinematic universe, I really enjoyed what Michael Bay did for us and what he gave us. And people were watching it. People were in the theaters. It was profitable. It made money for them, for everybody, for the toys, merchandise, tickets and all that stuff. But end it. Just do one last movie with Michael Bay to end, his second trilogy with The Last Night. And that's it. I'll be done as a Transformers fan, live action and stuff. And now they're going into that crossover. That's another thing too. Crossovers are the future, because now we're seeing it with Transformers and GI Joe. That's the next one they're working on. I'm excited for that. Hopefully, it's going to be very action packed, because those are the type of movies I enjoy when it comes to these type of movies. And let's see what happens with it. I'm not a GI Joe fan, but I do want to see what they're going to do, because just why not? The same thing has happened with the whole brand of Jurassic World. Like Jurassic Park ended at Jurassic Park 3. We already know we got that trilogy. That's a wrap. Now we got Jurassic World 1, 2, and 3. That's a wrap. And now we're going into Jurassic World 4, which is Rebirth next year. And as a fan, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want them to go back to touch anything with the previous Jurassic Park movies. Just do its thing. Whatever it is that it's setting up, it's going to do the next trilogy. Focus on that. Don't go back into like, well, now we're gonna go back into Jurassic Park world like a multiverse, and we're gonna fix things, but that didn't happen, and the timeline changed, and this and that. Don't, just leave it as is. You guys destroyed Jurassic Park at Jurassic World 2, Fallen Kingdom, when the whole island went off with the volcano and stuff like that. Just move away from it. That's why I like what Universal does with the Fast Saga, just because, okay, the Fast and the Furious is still within the same of the Fast Saga, but they were focused on cars back then. Now it's just anything and everything happens. And as a fan now, I don't take those movie series anymore, just because they've already gone into space. They put rockets on cars and they're like completely like going out. It's insane. but that's what's entertaining. It's like I'm looking forward to the next one. What is it? I think we're at Fast and the Furious 11, I think, or something. I hope it's even more out of this world and more ridiculous than the previous one, because every time they have to, like, like they have to go higher and just go more and more insane. But that's entertaining at this time, and it's like, I don't even care. Just make a car that's gonna turn like James Bond, like a submarine, and just go all out, have fun. That's all I care about. In the end, these movies, I don't take them serious. I just take them as, what, that's what it is to get me away from reality for the moment. If it's a 2 hour movie, an hour and a half, whatever it is, it's just entertaining. The same thing with what we're getting right now with Marvel and DC and whatever movies that they're working on. That's the beauty of being a fan for everything. You have all type of genres. You have action, comedy, horror, you have sci-fi, it's just too much. And all it is, what we want, the fans, is just good entertainment. That's all you have to do for us. Just entertain us. Don't bring in no message, don't bring in anything, just entertain your audience, and that's it. You'll see that the fans are going to come out. And as a Transformers fan, it sucks, and it's kind of like a letdown to see that Rise of the Beast didn't do good last year, and then this year Transformers 1 isn't performing well. Go back to what Michael Bay was doing. Just bring in that action, what, summer blockbuster movies, if you want to call, because you need that. You need those explosions, you need that action, you need that adventure, you need that whole thrilling excitement to have your audience on edge and say, I want to go see it, because it's like a ride. That's what these movies do. They take you on a ride and you just have fun and you enjoy them for what they are. But then when you have movies like what DC is doing, that they're switching characters or roles, and the list continues, you just make your audience turn away, because we are not blind and we know what you're trying to do. So it's like, well, why should I keep watching that? You're not going to give me entertainment as a fan. But some things just go, and then in the long run, it comes by like a boomerang, and it just catches up. And that's what has happened with WB. All the mess and everything that they've done, they threw a boomerang, and it's finally caught up. And it sucks because we as fans, we want the best for this company. Some of you might be like, well, you always talking about you want, the worst for WB or this company or that. It's not that. I want the best for every company, because if these companies are not around, then what are we going to get? We want entertainment, but we want good entertainment, not, oh, well, we think this is good for the audience. No, the numbers tell you the fans are complaining. The same thing like with Sonic. We already spoke about that. Sonic, when Paramount put him out the first time, that ugly looking Sonic, that wasn't Sonic. And what did they do? Well, let's go back to the drawing board. They fixed it, and look at where we're at right now. We're like 2 months away from the third film finally coming out. And that's good, because they got it together right. DC needs to do the same. Marvel's starting to do the same. They're shifting and fixing things slowly. And in the long run, it's just going to benefit, them as a company and us as a fans, because we're going to be like, okay, this is good entertainment again. And, like, we're going to keep on supporting it for whatever brand it is. And this is why, like, as a fan of DC, I know a lot of us can relate, and we can say that's why we want WB to consider and also include us Snyder fans, because the Snyderverse, it's huge, and then WB tries to ignore it. Like, why? You know that your fans are there; they're asking for it constantly, year after year, and you still ignore them. But then we, the fans, have had enough, and now we're keeping our wallets closed, and we're like, you know what? It's a done deal. You don't give us what we want. It's been over a year and a half. I'm just not supporting you, and that's what we have to do. Speak with your wallets, and that tells and sends the message to all these companies. So, in the end, it is what it is. But they have to learn one way or the other. So let me take more comments. So you could drop your comments, and I'll be reading them right now. All right, Rise of the Beast was kind of a continuation of the last night because it introduced Unicron. But yes, Bayverse needs a proper ending as well. Yes, but let's look at this again too. All right, we do get another Unicron, but let's look at what Michael Bay was setting up. Unicron. So this is the part where I'm confused as a fan. We get Unicron that's here on this Earth. So pretty much, remember, he's a planet. So this whole Earth is Unicron, but then in Rise of the Beast, it's a soft reboot, and then they're bringing Unicron that's from space, another world. See how I say, like, it's confusing. Like, these directors need to all sit down with the studio and say, you know what, this is the big picture, and this is what we're gonna build off of, and try to make everything connect. It's easy as that, but sometimes they just don't see it like that. All right. Well, I'm still waiting for Home Alone 3 with the grown up Macaulay Culkin. Oh man, that would be hilarious. You imagine that? Oh man, look man, thing with EM, you started with DEI and very top certain financial investment company with a push. Look what they're doing to Star Wars. One shouldn't expect much from Disney. Yep, exactly. Like Star Wars is another brand. It was so big, and look at where they're at right now. Like the acolyte hurt them so bad, and it's like they're putting things on pause. But again, this is what happens when you don't listen to the fans, and and you really don't give the fans what they want. I mean, you got to learn one way or the other. All right, I'll take the Fast Saga over the MCU any day, even though it started to get a bit a bit absurd after Fast Seven. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's no longer about cars. Now it's about like how more and how wild can it get. But I still enjoy it. For what it is. I mean, it is what it is. So I'm not complaining. Three Spider-Man movie and Deadpool and Wolverine are rare exception. It's not going to be like that most of their products. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. All right, restore the Snyderverse. You already know, Pedro. Restore the Snyderverse. Yes, we will stop at nothing. All right, Gunn should not be in charge of DCU in the first place. He can only make movies like Booster Gold and Plastic Man, etc. It's insane that he is making Superman movie. Yes, that I agree with you 100%. Look, nothing against James Gunn. All right, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. Nothing against him. I don't know him personally. I don't know nothing about him. I don't care. I just talk and I express myself as a fan in my point of view, my opinion. Like everybody has their opinion. We're all entitled to it. I get it. Some of y'all get triggered by my opinion, and that's fine. Whatever. The whole point is that yes, you do have a point on this. James Gunn is making movies, but he should stick to comedy. Honestly, that's his thing. I'm starting to notice that James Gunn is really good at comedy movies. That's what James Gunn should go after. All these comedy and funny type of movies. Maybe that would work out more for you. And, just keep doing that. How he got Superman, I have no idea. I have no idea. We will win. Yes, we will win. Oh, Superman movie gets leaked. Oh man, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, when that happens. The internet's the internet, so it happens. But yeah. All right. So it depends on what you ask. Current MCU is either fun or a letdown. That's true. Yeah, you can see it from both sides. It could be fun or it could be a letdown. I agree with that. And it depends which one and what you're watching. I haven't seen Agatha, not interested. I didn't see Doctor Strange, not my type of character, just for that universe. Same thing with Hulk, never been interested in those characters. The Falcon, what was it? Falcon, I think? It was very mid, but I mean, like I said, everything after Endgame hasn't been the same anymore. At least for me, that's just with me. The same thing with DC. After what they've been putting after Aquaman 2, it's just not interesting anymore to me. And what we saw with the remaining effects of the Hamadaverse with the Flash, Blue Beetle, which one was the other one? Black Adam. Black Adam was good. It's just if you take away the jokes and all the cheesiness, it's a good fun movie. And you could see that The Rock was trying to keep it connected to what the Snyderverse was, but it was gonna do its own thing and it was gonna expand to more, and that would have been fun to see. It's a shame that it didn't happen, but like I said, I think things are happening behind the scenes that we don't know, and hopefully soon things will shift in our favor because, like I said, and I spoke about it. If you've been following me, you already know. But that whole leak of the rumor that Comcast wants to do keyword alternative DC content for Max, HBO Max, that says a lot. That tells you a lot. And it's like, it's not coincidence. And then we're hearing all these things, and we're seeing Zach that he's back announcing it. The same with David Ayer. I mean, we're on the path to the right direction, and it's not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna happen over some time. And we just have to keep on being patient. But we can't let our guard down. We can't give up now because if we do, then of course, all that excitement is just gonna like go down, and we don't want that. We want it to stay up and on a daily basis, you know. And I get it. Sometimes it's tough. Sometimes we're like, man, I don't see anything happening, but let it take its time, and let this just, you know, fix itself, because it's going to. We've already proven as the fans, as a community, you know, like not just Snyder fans, but in a community general of DC, that most of us do not want what DC is trying to put out now. You know, that's what comics, that's what merchandise, with movies, you know, like we just don't like the path that they're going. And again, the numbers don't lie. The numbers tell you what the fans want and what they don't want. And what we don't want is what they're doing right now, because you know they're watering everything down and they think they know what's best, and it's just not working, you know. But things will change. It's just not going to happen overnight. All right, so let's see. Yeah, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, that show was mid. It was very mid. That's crazy. Oh, okay, so the lady who plays Agatha has the biggest mouth I've ever. Oh man, that's insane, yo. I mean, technically she's a comedian, but yeah, I get you, man. You see, this is why I like doing these chats, man. I like interacting with y'all. Y'all too much, man. And this is good. This is good. You know, it helps us all. We're still here, positive. Just, you know, all that chill level and stuff. We don't take this too serious. You know, it's okay to have a sense of humor. You know, not everything has to be strict and everything has to be, you know, like no. Just have fun and enjoy things for what they are. You know, that comes with movies, that comes with video games, that comes with collectibles, whatever it is that you enjoy and you like in this hobby. Because in the end, this is all hobby for us. You know, like just have fun with it. You know, and I get it. Not everybody's gonna see the same point of view, and that's what makes us fans of whatever it is that we like and we enjoy. Because of course, I've had, you know, like talks and, you know, like how we have with DC and Marvel with fans of Transformers or whatever any other brand it is. And it's interesting and it's fun to see what type of you know, like how this market is, if you want to say. You know, you have all type of people, and it's fun, it's interesting, you know, because everybody wants something, you know, like of a different point of view. Look, I like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, and some of y'all might be like, no, I don't like him. I like and I want to see the Amazing Spider-Man 3. Some are like, no, I want more with Tom Holland, or others with Tobey Maguire. I'm like, you know what? They all brought something good. Let's enjoy it for what it was. And again, I want to see a proper ending to Andrew Garfield's universe with his Spider-Man, you know? And it's like, how come we got that with Tobey Maguire, we get that with Tom Holland, but we can't get that with Andrew Garfield, you know? That's the same thing I want to see with the Snyderverse. I want to see a proper ending, you know, with Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, you know, Jason Momoa, all these actors and actresses. And I want to see Zach's final true vision of what everything involves and what everything was going to be, you know. But again, you know, these studios have to learn, and they're going to see that the numbers don't lie. And the only way by us winning is just simple: keep those wallets closed, you know. That tells you and it shows you, hey, look, these fans are not buying this. They're literally not buying it. And you know, it's funny because how you had this actor, the one that's on Peacemaker, I can't remember his name, that he was like making fun of us, and he's still making fun of us. Oh, how's that boycotting going? I don't know. You tell me. I mean, you guys have been having flops back after back, and we're gonna get you at the box office for Superman. So yeah, those flops, they're kind of working, right? And the boycotts. So yeah, that tells you a lot. So again, we the fans come together, and we will make it possible, because the same way we got the Snyder cut, we too are going to make everything change and shift for the better for us, so we can get, you know, the whole thing with the Snyderverse restored and stuff. The same thing with the haircut. We'll get it in due time, you know. But yeah, so I'm about to get going. I appreciate everybody for watching. That's about my time for today. I want to thank you for watching, for tuning in, and all that good stuff. Hit that subscribe if you're new to the channel. Share the video. Drop your comments, all that stuff as always, you know, and I'm going to catch y'all until the next time. So y'all stay positive, stay focused. We will stop at nothing. Y'all stay safe. Have a good weekend. I'll probably come back on tomorrow, Sunday night. So just keep posted in case. And then, you know, hopefully something drops and we, you know, get to talk some more. So if you didn't see the stream from the beginning, go and hit from the beginning so you can see it. But yeah, I'm going to catch you on the next time. Y'all stay safe until next time, and peace.